Good morning, Justice Warriors. Thank you so much for waiting for me. It's so nice to see you guys. Um, where to begin? Release the hounds, right? Or like, don't make me get my monkeys at your ass. So, you guys, oh my goodness. I've been having this theme lately of like, are we being punked and all these trolls? And it's so out of control, and these people, if you can call them people, um, are so sick. Like, get a life, and hey, Sifa. Hey, Squirrels on Fire. Hey, Kale. Hey, everyone. Let me say hi real quick. Let's see. And oh, that's funny. Let's see. Weird. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure the Hamburglar is at it. We're not gonna let it get to us though, right? I I just don't understand. Well, I guess I do. I guess that these people are extremely sick. Um, so let's say hello to people, Sherry and Pam and Shanda, Sifa, Francine, and Dana and Pixie and Crime Story Diva. So nice to see you guys. I'd like to open with my little disclaimer. Everything I say is simply my opinion, simply for the sake of conversation and trying to piss people off, right? I'm going to change my disclaimer. Everything I say is simply to piss off the scumbags. No, actually, I'm not trying to piss anybody off. I'm just trying to get to the truth. And yeah, I know that that pisses off the scumbags. Hey, Susan D.A. Okay, so did I finish that up? My videos are all made specifically for YouTube, which is an entertainment platform that we might have to abandon, right? Because they allow all of this trolling, you guys. Like, you know that our friend Mark, who passed away a month or so ago, he was getting trolled right to the bitter end. Like, is that any way to spend the last days of your life? These people are twisted. They're extremely twisted. So I'm going to say, get a grip, okay? I found the 911 call we talked about yesterday. Okay. It's so funny. So yeah, I got all of my bugs out and then they came back. Um, let's see. Jizz for Justice has it in the J is for Justice. Dana, that reads really wrong. Oh my goodness. Oh, twisted. That's hilarious. J is for Justice. She's awesome. No Jizz for Justice. That's creepy AF. Has it, and the call was from August 21st? What? Dana? Are you kidding me? August 21st was when the crow call came from the guy from Blue Sky Realty. Like, that whole thing is just so bizarre. That is so bizarre. Squirrels on Fire says, it pisses you off, then sounds like you a problem. Therapy is awesome. Yeah, I know. Therapy is awesome. I love therapy. And I really think this is therapeutic. I think everything is therapeutic. For me, getting my exercise every day, eating right, cuddling my puppy dogs. And yeah, let's just try to focus. Does this count as a warning? Dana, what? Are you threatening me? Just kidding. And it's so hard to joke in text or in a video. I mean, it's a little bit easier in a video, but people don't know how to take things. And sometimes people take things wrong. So we got to be careful. I love joking around. I love having a good laugh. There's truth to every joke. And, people just take stuff sideways and take it personal when it's not about them. Try Kevin. And let's see. Yeah, Kevin Neese. He's was making malware vids. He turned me on to Kaspersky. I don't know what Kaspersky is. Um, yeah, Kevin's pretty amazing. Nova and I are cuddled as we speak, listening to your live. Casper Sky works. Oh, okay. So Casper Sky is the way to go. I'm talking about the crow phone call to 911. Seems a bit early in the semester for a warning. Wait a second. I'm gonna have to shut this down right away. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. August 21st was the day that Koberger got pulled over for not wearing a seatbelt. Oh, okay. Yeah, now it all makes sense. Not. Um, so what happened previously, who knows? Is that so weird, you guys? So the day that the murder of crows was at the 1122 King Road house, and Blue Sky Realty dude called 911 to say, I mean, isn't this like a Hitchcock movie, you guys? Isn't this a freaking Hitchcock movie? I think it's called Birds. And, I made that joke yesterday. Like, if it was 10,000 crows, then yeah, maybe I would call 911. But yeah, that's what made me think of Hitchcock. I think we're in a Hitchcock film. Okay, here we go. Susan, and I love Avaria and Nord, hands down best beat AV VPN. See, girl, you're speaking stuff I don't even know. I don't speak that language. You're just like way hipper than my butt. Way hipper than me. I'm an old lady. I got kids. I'm old enough to be a grandmother. My oldest is turning 21 in a couple of weeks. I can't freaking believe it. It was just like yesterday that she was 3 months old, I'm pretty sure. Last time I checked. Kale says yes. Squirrel says best. Typing overrated, back to snuggles and listening. I know. I love being in the chat. And then I'm just like, you know what? It's exhausting. I just want to listen. So yeah, uh, I tried to do the new wrench and it says error, try again. Is that so weird? 3 times. I mean, weird, not weird, right? Um, so there's nothing wrong with getting old. I am 55 and proud of it. And yeah, as long as we're taking care of ourselves, it's like it doesn't matter if you're 80 or 16. If you're in bad health, you're screwed. So take care of yourself. And, just feeling good is what it's all about. So, you guys, I think I'm getting my lighting thing together. Do you love it? I mean, I took all that extra time, not for the problems with the computer, but just to try to master this because I am just like vibing out on it. I'm a total interior decorator wannabe. It's one of my hobbies. I studied feng shui. It's all about lights and mirrors and open space and and clutter. Clutter is like the new thing. Did you guys know this? Clutter is like the new style. So for a long time it was like the minimalist thing, but now people are realizing that clutter is cool. You just have to have nice clutter and clean clutter. So yes, Kevin and can help you. I'm old too. Like I said, nothing wrong with getting old. I mean, seriously, as we get older, we get wiser. Military has been training crows for years. Pam, I did not know this. I know there's a lot of that with pigeons. Totally. Pigeons are, wow. Got you beat. 65. Time out or delete. I don't know what you're talking about, Kale. You're not old till 100. It's all mental. I am the youngest person alive. But then you see these people that are like 109 and they're totally on it. Beautiful. Too much clutter. I get claustrophobic for you. Oh, I'm sorry, Mark. Get over it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't mean to be crass. I'm just like really at my wits' end with these low life trolls, the low life trolls. Yeah. So I am really happy to see you guys. Really, really, really happy to be here. So I watched my video yesterday. I had to take out the 4 minutes where the cat pulled open the curtain and like flooded with the light. I know that's a little like OCD of me, but I couldn't deal with it. I spend so much time getting the lighting right, and I just got a new light. So hopefully it's getting better. Um, I'm still working on it, but I struggle to get the lighting right. That's usually what's taken me the longest. Not so much the decor lighting, but just the lighting so that I'm not in the dark and I'm not completely flooded out, just, pasty white. And it was so funny because when that cat pulled open the curtain, I was just like, "Oh, yeah." I mean, I love my pet so much, but I'm like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to die. You don't mess with the curtain during the live." So it took me forever to cut that 4 minutes out because, you want to get it just right so that it doesn't seem sloppy. And I'll tell you, it was right at the end, like around the 1 hour, right before the 1 hour mark. And then right up until, man, it was like it started at the 11 minutes to the end and then ended at 7 minutes to the end. So it was an hour and 7 minutes. And then when I took that 4 minutes out, now it's an hour and 3 minutes. And you guys, that video yesterday was going viral. I'm not kidding you. I mean, I know it was a wild one because when I watched it, I was like, oh, I can't believe I said all that stuff. I'm just crazy. Don't worry about me. None of it has anything to do with reality. I'm just completely nuts, right? Wow. So as I'm trying to edit it, it had over 1,000 views. And, that's kind of a lot in a couple of hours for a small channel like mine. And when you edit it, you lose all your views, all your likes, and all your comments. And I especially don't like losing the comments. I don't want people to think that I deleted them by any means. Um, so I wrote everybody's name down and I typed it in there that I had to do the edit. Comments got deleted. Please recomment. And yeah, please do recomment. Um, and what else was it that I wanted to say about the editing? It's just really hard. And then because I don't have like professional software, I just have whatever my computer came with. I get it nailed, literally nailed down to the nanosecond. You guys that are content creators know what I'm talking about. I literally get it nailed down to the freaking nanosecond, and then it does it differently than what I told it to do. So it's not perfect, and I'm not a perfectionist, thank God, because like I said before, being a content creator is a really bad idea if you're a perfectionist. It's gonna eat you alive. So you just gotta roll with it. So, oh my goodness. It was an eye-catching title. Oh, because I said something like, I think I found something. I think I didn't want to say I found something because I honestly don't know. And I really don't like focusing on other content creators, you guys. Like, as a content creator, that's like the last thing you do. You come up with your own material, you come up with your own ideas. If you're going to do a reaction to somebody like, say, Upchurch, then that's complimenting them usually, right? You're like, I'm a fan and I'm going to give you my ideas about their work. That's really the only way, one of the only ways to do work with bringing up other content creators. I certainly don't like criticizing other content creators. I love giving shout outs to other content creators. And when they have good ideas or good material, I love to blend that into the mix with what I'm sharing. But the last thing I want to do is say, like, well, this content creator is whatever, because it's just like real life. We're not going to get along with everybody. We're all going to have our differences, and that's fine. You don't need to like everybody. You don't need to agree with everybody. Just do your own thing. But I'm really concerned about this content creator that sounds an awful lot like the guy with the Coburger video. That video came out into the interweb. I like to say interwebs, the internet, after Koberger was arrested. So he was already arrested, and then that video, you guys know the video I'm talking about, right? I put the link to What's the Obsession video that has it in there at the 1 hour 43 minute, 1 hour 44-minute mark. And probably everybody remembers it. It's the computer screen, it's just blank, and it's a guy with his cell phone videotaping himself in the computer screen, but the cell phone is blocking his face. So you can see the outline of his head and his body. And he's talking really weird, and he's telling you way too much detail about the unaliving of these 4 people and how it happened. And he's talking really slow, and he's really deliberate. And I wanted to share with you his style of speech. I took some notes, and to me, it's very evident that it is a match to the channel that I'm calling out. And I'm calling them out because I'm concerned. I'm concerned that it's a bunch of effery. So this was how he spoke in that one when he's got his video camera. This is interesting because it gives us first question everybody is talking about. Okay, so that one he's talking really slow, and you might want to speed it up to 1.25. Thank you to whoever it was that recommended that. I'm going to, it was not reverse psychology. I'm going to highlight that. And then the other one, which is pretty much everything on that channel, the channel that started on December 25th, Christmas Day. Yeah, Christmas Day. Who starts a channel on Christmas Day? Like, don't you have family to be around? I mean, that's kind of sad because it takes a little while to set up your channel, and that's what you're doing on Christmas Day. You're like hiding in a room in your house, or you in the middle of the living room with your friends and family around you. I don't know. It's bizarre. And then the first 2 videos are from December 28th. And one of those is the Corner Club video, and that's the one that I put the link in the description of my live yesterday that's not alive anymore since I edited it. And I also put that on my community page. So if you're paying attention, I know it's a lot of detail, but you should be able to go to these places 20 seconds in to the video from December 28th, the one with the Corner Club still shot. And this is how he speaks in this one, in that one. They think it was a man. I was told that's why. I don't know if you know this, but neighbors said the reason is that. So this is the video of the black blank computer screen, which is really like taunting the viewer, like you can see me, but you can't see me. And shout out to Kelly with What's the Obsession. She was doing a voice comparison of that video with the voicemail that allegedly the criminal defendant had left for a hairdresser in the summer. Do you guys remember that? That's what that 5-hour video of Kelly's from last month is about. Let's see. I got to look at this. My sick kid. So I love you guys so much. You're the coolest people. And it is really amazing how we have built this community within true crime. I mean, we're not friends and family. We don't know each other. We're just like true crime internet friends and family, but that's cool. That's way cool. And I think that these trolls, part of it is I think they're really jealous of that. And I don't blame them. I mean, to have that kind of connectivity is a jewel. It's a gem. And when you don't have that and you see other people with that, it's not a good feeling, right? So you want to try to create that for yourself. And yeah, all the trolls can have their own little troll community. That's cool. Okay. I am missing so many of your great comments. I'm going to try to read. Um, Dana says, I think you're onto something because I caught the same thing 2 months ago. And are you talking about what I just went over? It was the humbleness of may have found something, was reverse psychology got me excited. LOL. That's hilarious. I like it. Well, and I mean it because, it could be that I'm really onto something and putting stuff together, and it could be that I am just like in the weeds in left field smoking crack. I mean, I always say there's a fine line between psycho and psychic, and it's true. And I'm not at all a psychic. I'm not at all a psycho, but I do have my sociopath hat on. So I'm trying to throw you guys off with that. SEW with the tomato with the needles in it and the sewing machine. I saw that um, patch at a bookstore and I just had to have it. I told you guys it was $9 for a patch. $9 for a patch. And then when I ironed it on the hat, I freaking burned it. So then, it's just one thing after another. Anyway, so yeah, I think it's really important to eat your humble pie, no matter how on top of it you are. I don't care if you have a million freaking subs and you are like queen of the universe and you have all the answers and you know everything and everybody's bringing you all their good information and you know what's what. I don't care. Eat your freaking humble pie because we all put our pants on one leg at a time. And as soon as you think you're all that in a bag of chips, you are going to fall off that pedestal that people put you on. The higher the pedestal, the harder the fall, right? And yeah, I think it's important when you're a content creator and you're getting views and subs. It's a cool feeling. It can be a great feeling. It can be a roller coaster ride, especially when you're getting trolled and people are doing horrible things. Larissa is dealing with some horrible stuff, you guys. If you don't know Larissa Slaughter's channel, please go over there, sub her channel, show that woman some support. It's really sick. These people are really mental. And our good friend Squirrels on Fire has been dealing with a lot of that crap. Ola too. Good morning, Harshelly. It was not reverse psych, Kale. Okay, I think that's funny. Yeah, I think I may have found something. I think I'm onto something. I might not be. It could just be a couple of guys that kind of sound alike. So what I'm saying about those two voices is that the one on the channel, the content creator, you can slow that down to 0.75 and it'll sound more similar to the one in the video that was dropped right after Koberger was arrested, the one where it's like the computer screen with the cell phone video and all you see is the black. And you see this person's body type, which is not muscular, but is athletic and is male and short hair, bushy eyebrows. And I'm just kidding about the bushy eyebrows, but you can see a full outline. Like you keep thinking you're going to be able to see this person because he's kind of moving the camera, taunting you. He's taunting you. It's freaky, but that voice talks really slow. So if you leave that one the way it is and you slow the voice of the content creator down to 0.75, they're more of a match. Or if you leave the content creator voice the way it is and you speed up that one weird cell phone computer screen video, speed that up to 1.25 and you'll find it more of a match. So the voices are different. They both sound really young to me. I know I'm old, but they sound really young, like almost childish in a way. It's pretty wild. Very deliberate, very focused on what other people are thinking, very focused on law enforcement and knowing way, way, way too much about the case in great detail. Things that only law enforcement that was at the scene of the crime would know, or the guilty party, the criminal. Serious, you guys. I'm sure about that. I am sure about that. So we'll see how things unfold. You do a great job including everyone. Oh, Dana, it's important to me because, I was once not a content creator and I was a viewer. And then I started talking in chats and I started emailing some content creators. And we're all just as valuable as each other, whether you're commenting or not. The lurkers are just as valuable as the commenters, and the commenters and the lurkers are just as valuable as the content creators. We couldn't exist without each other. It's a symbiotic relationship. So, Squirrels on Fire, what you say? What say you? I worry about people attacking Sifa, less about what people try to F with me. I'm untouchable. Even Zanime knows it. Squirrels, you freaking rock it. Um, are they attacking Sifa? What? I felt so bad for her in Squirrels on Fire. It's stressful. I think it's stressful even for Shanda, but Shanda don't play. Shanda knows how to handle herself. I ignore my trolls and they go away. Right. They're attention seekers. They're like little kids. They really are. They're worse because they're in grown-up bodies, but they're like little freaking 2-year-old toddlers. Just treat them like 2-year-old toddlers. Just a harsh spanking. Yes, I do believe in spanking. Sifa, we are all in support of you, and Squirrels on Fire are my family. Um, yes, I really like your channel, but the picture has never been clear, really fuzzy. Maybe it's my connections, but I don't have problems with others. Well, Juniper Rob, I don't think that the trolls want you to see me clearly. Yeah, sometimes there's issues with that. I don't have any fancy software, but I do have a really high quality laptop that I invested in a few months ago. So it's better than it was with the old laptop, the one that just bit the dust a few days ago. But we will be having to get a new laptop to replace that one. So we'll see how the laptop shuffle goes within the family. Um, let's see, there's 19,000 sub channel who is saying that I'm Enan harsh and putting me in danger. What? Sifa? Do you want to say what channel it is or do you want to email it to me? Whichever you're comfortable with. That you're Einan Hirsch? Honestly, you guys, I might be out in left field, but I don't think Einan Harsh has anything to do with this other than that he's a creepy neighbor that liked the attention that he got in an interview for some news type of YouTuber. Sifa, you are a lot better looking than that harsh guy, and I'm in no way attached to him. That's funny. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know why people make such a big deal of him. I think he's kind of a red herring. Even if he was at the Grub Truck, which I don't know that he was. And didn't they call it Grub Hub in the beginning and then they changed it to Grub Truck? And I looked it up online. It does say Grub Truck, but I wonder if all the college kids and the locals call it Grub Hub because that's kind of cool. I like Grub Hub better than Grub Truck. It's just got more of a ring to it. We support Sifa completely. He's amazing. Way better looking than Harsh with a question mark. Too funny. Not Harsh Reality. Einan Harsh, which isn't that weird when Einan Harsh first came on the scene, and we were all kind of already spooked enough with the similarities of some of these people's names with some of the names from the Kylie Rodney case. There seemed to be a lot of cross pollination there. And then we get this Einan Harsh when Harsh Reality is this channel that's been blowing up for the last 12 months, 14 months, 15 months now, solid. And yeah, I thought that was really weird at first. I was like, what is that? Einan Harsh? Does that have anything to do with Harsh Reality? I think a lot of people were wondering that. Okay, yes, please, Sifa, email it to me. That'd be great. I see you just fine, Courtney. John Courtney says, well, I'm glad. So yeah, sometimes when I'm watching the video myself, when I'm reviewing them, there's parts that get blurry. And let's see, Squirrels on Fire rocks. They made it clear you're not him. Good. I did a live last night on it because it needed to be addressed. It's never okay to put children at risk. It's unbelievable. But see, this is the thing. Like think about terrorists, right? Terrorists don't care if somebody is a kid. They don't care about babies. They don't care about any of that. And people that have this type of psychology are like terrorists to me. They're like domestic terrorists, basically. The haters. Really fuzzy for me too, Shelley says. We support all honest creators. Well, there's nothing other than honesty. And I like to say this kind of cliche about truth. The truth will never change. So it doesn't matter if you can hide the truth, it's never going to go away. It's always going to haunt you. And it will eventually reveal itself. Sometimes it takes years, but then hindsight, you can see this stuff. Sometimes people come out and make confessions. No question mark. That was an era. Sifa is gorgeous. We have to support Sifa. Miss Amir Zaza is totally outrageous. We all behind you, Sifa. How dare they mess with you? And Larissa too. Like, why would anybody want to mess with these people? And I'll tell you why. The answer is always in the question. Um, they want to mess with these people because these people are trying to crack the Kylie Rodney case. So this is what I call the catfish crew. And they come out full force trolls and they just do whatever they can. Their number one objective is to get you off track, to get you to be not talking about what you're talking about. So you're talking about them, you're talking about the kids, you're talking about protecting the kids, you're talking about not the topic that you set out to discuss. So getting you off that topic is their goal. They don't care how they do it. They don't care if it puts kids in danger. That's their goal. Fuzzy looks great on my Samsung 40-inch monitor. Squirrels, yes. I know you are like a computer whiz. And so I watched some of the videos from that channel that you mentioned to me. And it was like they created themselves just to go after you and to make fun of you for your fine computer skills. Because I don't know if you guys know Squirrels on Fire's work of detail and how she can break down a photograph and show you exactly what's photoshopped and how it's photoshopped. She's an artist and she's a technological wizard. I'm just going to say, in my humble opinion. And she knows these things and she can see things that the rest of us can't see. And you can go, yeah, right. Okay, sure. And then when she shows you how she can see it, then you can't unsee it. And so this little tiny new channel is like trying to make fun of her for that, like saying she's crazy because she thinks she sees things that she sees. So, yeah, I would love for you to go over that video with the cell phone and the blank computer screen. You know, the one I'm talking about? Do you have access to that? Because I will get that video by itself and email it to you, and you can tear that apart. So another thing with content creators, you guys, like YouTube is constantly changing everything and you're supposed to show your face. It's just like when you're on a panel, people want to see your face so that they know you're not a sock and they know you're not going to whip out your junk and try to shut their channel down. Remember when that was happening all over the Kylie Rodney case? And like Zav Girl had like two simultaneous, because you don't let people onto your panel that you don't know. And you make them show their face so that you can identify them. So Paula Plunder had her channel shut down for various reasons for a while this past summer. And she never showed her face, just for safety and privacy. And then she has herself in the center of her screen almost the entire video because she was her hand was forced. So I don't know how some of these content creators are getting away with not showing their face. And the ones that don't ever show their face, yeah, don't trust them. Don't freaking trust them. Grubhub is an app. Thank you, Kale. I knew that. Squirrels on Fire. I love that. Catfish Crew Freak Squad. That is awesome. That is so funny. Larissa, hey girl. Let's see. And True Crime and Faith and Squirrels on Fire really had Syphis back yesterday. That's awesome. Yeah, the narcissistic psychopaths. Yes, absolutely. Crazy Case, Redmond, Washington podcaster. Yeah, I used to live in Kirkland, Washington, which is right next to Redmond. And I had my first private practice psychotherapy office right there in Redmond. I know Redmond very, very well. That is a horrible, horrible situation. Um, for those who don't know, it was a podcaster who had a stalker, and they shot her and her husband, both deceased. So Larissa says, hello, Lady Justice in chat. Sif, I hope you were okay. Boo. I know it's hard, but you will get through this. I promise you. It is really stressful. What I was starting to talk about, how there's a lot of highs that come with being a content creator. There's also those lows when the haters come after you. And this is why I have a zero troll policy. I'm just not having it. It's ridiculous. Um, oh, good. You reported the video, Kim. Excellent. And that's the best thing to do, is to report people. And um, I want to share my little joke. I don't want anybody to take it the wrong way. Squirrels on Fire had a problem with a spider that crawled in her ear a few weeks ago, and it made her really sick. And then when the doctor pulled it out, she said she felt instantly better. And she was talking about this on the live the other night, that she was dissecting the interview with SF Investigates. And I was just like being a jokester in the chat, and just, I have an issue with that person. And I think I said something about, he makes me want to shove spiders in my ears, and I hoped that it wasn't going to be taken the wrong way, and I don't think it was. But now with trolls, when you report trolls that are being harassing or threatening or lewd, you have all these choices of, why are you reporting them? Are you reporting them for this, that, or the other thing? And I decided that I want to contact YouTube and have a whole new category of makes me want to shove spiders in my ears. And I'm telling you, I was cracking myself up so bad. I didn't even have to go to the bathroom, and I almost lost it. I couldn't stop laughing. The makes me want to shove spiders in my ears category. So yeah, we have a lot of that, don't we, you guys? Computer geek since 1984. Squirrels. I gotta like compare notes, because my granddad, who was a colonel in the Army for 30 years and was way up in the Kennedy administration and all this other stuff, Purple Heart, blah blah blah. He was all into computers, and I graduated high school in 1985. He gave me the first laptop, and it held 1,250 words, I think, or 1,500 words. Basically, you could type a page into it, so you could make all your corrections, and then you could print that one page. And it was pretty awesome. And he was telling me all the time, computers are the way of the future. At that point in time, most computers were like the size of a living room, dining room, kitchen altogether, right? And he was saying, believe me, there's going to be a day where it's going to be this little tiny thing. And just a couple days ago, I was talking about that movie, David Byrne from the Talking Heads, his movie True Stories, about the birth of the microchip. And I want to say the microchip was invented in 1958. So it took a while. It's taken a long while. But yeah, now we're at this point where, you got the little ear pods that are basically what my granddad was talking about. And yeah, I'm not I'm not very computer literate, but I've always been around it. And, one of my downfalls is that I've always had people around me that were extremely computer literate. So I could rely on them to help me with whatever it was I needed help with. So, that's kind of bad. You should do your own stuff, right? Or at least try to learn it. But, I do other stuff. You can't do everything. Having children, that takes a lot. Gardening takes a lot. Taking care of yourself takes a lot, right? Okay, they're mad that we wanna do something good and they don't have the hearts to do that. Well, Larissa, I think it's worse than that. I'll just say it straight up. I think that these people have done bad things or their friends have done bad things and they're trying to cover it up because they don't wanna go to jail. Did I just say that? See, sometimes you can't just say things, right? It's too easy. I take it back. I retract my statement. Let's just go with what you said. They're mad that we want to do something good and they don't have the hearts to do that. And we've all done bad things. We've all made mistakes. You make amends, you fix it, you confess to your sins, you confess to yourself, you confess to the people that you've hurt, and you make amends. I mean, people often talk about, well, if your kid did something, you'd protect them too. Like, think about like Brian Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie and Chris Laundrie, the dad. No, I wouldn't protect any of my kids that unalive somebody. I wouldn't protect them from dealing with the consequences of their actions. I would say, it's horrible. I still love you. I don't understand, but you need to step up and do the right thing. You don't run and hide. You can't hide. There's no safety anywhere. So it's like, good luck with that. We'll see how that goes. Good luck with that. People think they can do these things, and like the day to day, it's a totally different story. You're much better off getting it off your chest and going to prison and trying to like rectify the crap that you've pulled. So, ugh. Courtney says, sock, they are bullies. SOF is smart, truthful, and just freaking funny, isn't she? She's got a lot going for her. She's awesome. I sure do know what you're talking about. I might have it, but in case I don't, email it and Shirley will rip it down to the pixels. Oh man, I'm excited. I am super excited. So, huh. Eva Marie's adult coloring book. I don't show my face, but I am an art channel. But see, do they allow you to do that? Because, like I said, they got all up into Plunder's situation, and they wouldn't let her redo her channel, and her channel was doing so well, and they just like totally messed with her and forced her hand to do it very differently than how she wanted to do it. And it's understandable. The type of stuff she covers, of course, she doesn't want to show her face. You know, you gotta be safety conscious. I love when you do that, Susan says to Squirrels on Fire, about ripping things down to the pixels. I could have sworn I did a live on True Crime and Faith, aka Daisy's channel, on that specific laptop face video, but down to go into detail for you. Awesome. Yeah. Because it's just really weird. The premise was that maybe it was Brian Koberger and then he had somebody release it once he was behind bars. I don't know. Let's see. This morning, Ara was saying how she gets scared sometimes. Oh, man. That's terrible. I love Ara. She's so awesome. Yeah, Ara is so sweet. And good morning, Larissa. Nope, I loved your spiders in the ear pun. Some days I wish I could shove that little fucker back in there. Oh my goodness, it is freaky. I just can't believe you had to deal with that. Because yeah, it probably would have like thrown your equilibrium off and made you nauseous and like vertigo and probably some toxic little micro nano spider poop. I don't even know. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Fred, yes, Ara said she genuinely scared because these people look for your address and dox you. I feel horrible that anyone has to go through this. Absolutely. Absolutely. But sometimes being more public can actually make you safer. I haven't brought this movie up in a long time, you guys. It's one I brought up a lot in the beginning of having my channel, and I always get confused. It's the Russell Crowe movie called Insider or Inside Man, the one where it's a true story of the guy who was hired by the tobacco company in Kentucky, in Lexington, I think, and he was a chemist. He was brilliant. They wanted him to invent chemicals to make the tobacco get into your blood, the nicotine to get into your bloodstream faster. And he did it. And then they wanted to get rid of him, like eliminate him, because he knew too much and he was dangerous to their business because he knew what they did because he was the one that was hired to do it. So he went on the news. I think it's Walter Cronkite, and it's I think it was Walter Cronkite who's actually in the movie with all these interviews, but this is, many years ago when it actually happened. So he did all these interviews with Walter Cronkite with like 60 minutes or, 2020, whatever it was. And then they had it all specifically designed, like when each interview needed to be released, because if it was released too soon, it would increase the safety issue, increase the danger. And if it wasn't really soon enough, it would increase the safety issue. So there were specific topics that he had to hit just right. So it was like each week, each few days, they were releasing this information. And, he got out of that situation alive by the skin of his teeth, because when you have big tobacco money going after you like that, but that's what I'm talking about, is that part of it was the higher his profile was, then of course the safer he was. The more people knew what was going on, then if he happened to get what I call Karen Silkwooded, it would be more obvious. So um yeah, I love that movie for so many reasons, and Russell Crowe is simply splendid in it. If anybody knows and wants to look it up, because it's so confusing if it's Insider or Inside Man. I think it's Inside Man, but there are two movies, one with each of those titles, and they're very different. So the one with Russell Crowe, that's from around the year 2000, Y2K. Remember that? Remember that whole mess? They thought like the whole world was going to stop because every computer was set up to only go up to 1999. And they thought all of our water was going to shut down. They thought it was going to be like the pandemic. Remember? See, I was living in Seattle at that time, and I knew a lot of people who were working on Y2K projects at Microsoft and all these other different places. It was nuts. And I was very scared. We were living in the city on New Year's Eve that year. And, we had all of our food and all of our water and all of our protection, because the problem was if you had your food and your water, but thugs came around to get your food and your water, you were going to be toast. So you had to be well protected. So that was some wild times. And then when it happened, Y2K, it was fine. But that was probably because of all the people that were prophylactically hired to troubleshoot and make sure that things would be fine. It wasn't something they planned on because they didn't really think that it would ever happen, right? People are so silly. The truth will out. I would turn my kid in. I'm snitching if something bad happened. You got to learn somehow. Larissa, and exactly. It's like you do that for the love of your child. You love your child. You want them to be honest. You want them to be safe. You want them to do the right thing because you love them. Like hiding them from, if they did something horrible, whether it was accidental or intentional, trying to help them hide that is not a sign of loving your child, in my opinion. That's a sign of stupidity. That's a sign of narcissism. That's a sign of just being a dumb jackass and not knowing what's real. Because the only thing you have in the world, the only thing any of us have, is truth. That's it. There's nothing else. The truth will out. Yes, they were big enough for a steering wheel and headlights. And I'm not sure if you're talking about a Spider or what. Big enough for steering wheel and headlights. My first was a Tandy 1000. I'm not sure what a Tandy 1000 is, like a bike or something. Tandy from Radio Shack. Let's see. This McAfee stuff is still on there. So the Microsoft stuff got sorted out, but the McAfee is still spazzing. I've honestly considered quitting the tube. Well, Larissa, I would say, like Squirrel Girl and some other channels, that yeah, it's not worth it. It's not worth putting yourself, risking your safety, your family's safety. Um, but when these people, and let's just call them terrorists, when these terrorists try to threaten somebody, allowing them to do it doesn't make anybody safe. It doesn't make you safe. It doesn't make anybody safe. So calling them out can put you in harm's way. So like I said, that movie with Russell Crowe, you've got to be deliberate and careful. But allowing it to continue is not going to create safety for us, I don't think, which is why we make that decision to go ahead and take the more difficult, more challenging, more frightening path, because trying to take the easy way out, there is no easy way out. There's no easy way out. Tom Petty, best song in the world. Let's see, where are we at? So yeah, Larissa, if you need to consider quitting the tube or taking time off, then you got to do what is good for you. But it also, it might just feed your fire and propel you to speak louder so that they can hear you in the back. I mean, why would anybody want to attack you when you're basically going after domestic violence perps? So unless it's the domestic violence perp themselves, what's the freaking deal? So they're outing themselves. They're absolutely outing themselves. And like I said, they're terrorists. I mean, domestic violence to me is the same thing as domestic terrorism. It's awful. Absolutely awful. YouTube has not said anything about it. Well, that's cool. Maybe because it's coloring and not true crime, or is it true crime coloring? like the crime and crochet are my hyper focus. So funny. I am also a tiny channel. Well, right, and yeah, Plunder's gotten really big. One of the hardest working people in the industry. And I'm pretty sure she was actually like a professional journalist before the whole YouTube thing. I'm pretty sure that she like worked for a newspaper or a television news or something like that. That's how she knows the ropes so well. For my part, it was the perforated card. Good morning, Justice and everyone. Larissa, please don't stop. Oh, Pam K, that's nice. I know. I really dig Larissa's stuff. Absolutely. Harsh Shelley. It's about the spider. Consequences are essential for learning. The difference in negative actions, the same way rewards are essential for learning and good behavior. Right, which is why I believe in spanking when your kids are too young to understand anything. And I didn't think that I would ever be somebody that spanked my child, but when my 2-year-old was not listening to me in the library parking lot, and she was like basically running out into traffic, that was the first time I spanked her, and it worked. She quit doing the life-threatening thing. So that like all of a sudden my whole like philosophy just like turned on a dime. I was just like, this girl's not hearing me, and I smacked her butt, and then she heard me. And everything was fine. And ever since then, I've been very committed to discipline. You don't do it to hurt your children. You do it because you love your children and you're trying to help straighten them out. And hopefully you never really have to, because the thought of it freaks them out so much that they don't do what they shouldn't be doing. Okay, let's see. That's such a big hot topic, so I don't want to get into controversy about that. That's dangerous waters. Consequences are essential for learning. I'm going to highlight that one, Dana. It's very well stated. Um, A Day in the Life of Ivan Densovich. Is that the guy that Russell Crowe is playing, or is that something else, Kale? If you want to share, I don't know what that is. I'll highlight it and replace pinned message. Hello, Alistair Grant has told me about your videos. Cool. I don't know what that X means. That kind of worries me. We don't got none of that. Welcome, Shay. Hi, Dana. Thank you. And John Courtney, Squirrels on Fire. My son would snitch on me just as I'd snitch on him if he broke the law. That's a sign of Roberta Laundry. Oh, my goodness. That woman is a piece of crap. And that letter that she wrote to the court, you guys, is that such a great letter? I mean, what cracks me up is I think that she probably accidentally put the burn after reading letter into the dry bag, and that's how it got discovered because she was trying to put things in there that would identify it belonging to her son. And she probably just like grabbed his journals and it was in there and she didn't know it was in there. And then she handed that bag to the federal officials. Just beautiful. And then the letter that she wrote to the court to try to explain it all away was even more beautiful. It's like, girl, you just got to stop. You're just digging your hole deeper, right? Too funny. Absolutely too funny. Tandy from Radio Shack, very early computer, aka the Stone Age. Thank you for clarifying that, Pam K. I was totally not knowing. I remember Radio Shack very well, very, very well from the 70s. It's still around, isn't it? Isn't there still Radio Shacks in malls? But yeah, what a wild company that's been over the years with all the changing technology. Watch for McAfee pop-ups and emails. We're noticing some are malicious Trojan pop-ups and emails. Absolutely. Oh yeah, they're vile. I think that they're probably owned by the Hamburg company, don't you? I'm serious. Um, Squirrels on Fire. I thought so. I was born in 1980, started learning computers, building and running them, and programming when I was 4. So thankful for my blessings of a dad. So you just reminded me of something really cool about little kids that are like, let's say the micro preemies that are put onto kind of computer systems in their early days to keep them alive and monitor their heartbeat, their heart rate, and all that stuff, their breathing. Those little kids bond with the computer like it's a mom. It's like the remember that storybook about the bird that thought the tractor was its mom? It was called Are You My Mother? Remember Are You My Mother? The bird, the little baby bird fell out of its nest and then it spent the whole book trying to find its mom. And everything it saw, it thought was its mom because it just would bond with whatever it saw. So these little babies, these micro preemies, are so bonded to the electronic devices because in their early days, those electronic devices were their moms basically. So they become wizards at very young ages with the electronics. I mean, all kids are kind of wizards with electronics these days, but especially those kids. Um, John Courtney, off topic, but the bank that failed had connections to tech company that had a UK branch. I found that out while researching players in Kylie Rodney case. Very fascinating, John Courtney. Thank you for that. Yeah, that all makes sense to me. Dana says, "You're so lucky, Shanda. I can't access to computers until I was an adult outside of school." Um, John Courtney, please send details to Justice A to Z if you are so inclined. Sure. Um, I think Kale wants them. And yeah, I'll forward it to Kale. No, Alistair Grant is a close friend of mine who showed me your channel. Haha, look forward to watching your lives. Very cool. I believe in spanking for the most serious of lessons to be learned. I also spanked my son for the first time for running in the road almost in front of a car. He didn't do it again. Yeah. Yeah. People who don't discipline their kids, again, they think they're doing it because they love their kid too much to discipline them. It's like you are ruining your kid. You're messing your kid up. You're not preparing them for the real world. Discipline, however you do it, whether it's with a spanking or taking away their allowance, discipline is the most essential part of parenting. Period. I won't even say in my opinion because that's just fact, hardcore. Like it's all about discipline, all about discipline and self-discipline too. I mean, life is all about self-discipline. Um, Radio Shack folded 5 or 6 years ago. Pam, say it ain't so. I didn't even know that. See, I've been so busy being a mama and everything. 4 kids, man, that'll distract you from the rest of the world. Now that they're getting bigger, I'm able, like, I wouldn't be able to have done this YouTube channel a few years ago. No way. No way. They just want your attention all the time, and they need your attention all the time. I remember all those floppy disks. LOL, Stephanie. I'm a steam shovel. Pam K, you're so funny. No, I'm a steam shovel. Yeah, the Are You My Mother? Thank you, John Courtney. And I remember that Little Bird book. I'm so old. That was one of my favorite books, you guys. I loved that book. Radio Shack filed bankruptcy in 2015. So that was more than 5 or 6 years ago. Time flies. That was already almost 8 years ago. Could have been 8 years ago. You said 5 or 6 because yeah, it's hard to keep up, isn't it? It just flies. It's part of the reason my own company folded. Wow. How messed up is that? I'm on a super slow mode, but Ivan Denovich, his guilt was the prison cell of his mind doing a number on his guilty. Okay. Yeah, guilty conscience. So yeah, we can Google that. Clutter brings chaos. I prefer organized, but I love your background. Well, it's not chaotic, is it? It shouldn't be. It's all organized. So I agree. I don't like chaos and I don't like that kind of clutter, but I like things to be full. So I think it's how you define clutter. So I don't feel like my set design is cluttered, but yeah, if it makes somebody else feel like it's cluttered, then I don't know if you can like block it out or what. But I'm gonna probably, like, I feel like I'm getting it more refined. So once I have it the way I want it, I'll keep doing it the same and I'll quit changing it all the time. I had it the way I liked it, but then I had to redo it because I just decided it was way too many flowers and I wanted to have less flowers and more other cool art stuff. 69 and 41, please like, share, subscribe, or Kale just said, please like and subscribe, but I added the share. Thanks for the reminder, Kale. So let's see, we are already over an hour, so let's get towards the wrapping up part too. Yeah. Some of that stuff I said yesterday, you guys, it's like I let the cat out of the bag. And it's just ideas. It might not be actually the way things are, but getting back to that brain on top of the dumpster. Why would there be a brain on top of a dumpster? Like, was that like a sign? Was that a signal? Was that like a flag? Or was that like a trophy? Whose brain was it? If it was an animal brain, it's still completely crazy and bizarre. And what's the deal with that? And getting into all of the animal cruelty in that area around Moscow, why is that being ignored? Like that cute little dog Buddy, why is that being ignored? Because whoever did that is a dangerous psychopath. And maybe it ties in with this case and maybe it doesn't, but it certainly shouldn't be ignored. It should be investigated. So there's a lot of creepy stuff going on in Moscow. I would not be allowing any of my kids to go to school anywhere near there. I prefer an organized mess. You know, it's the worst. So, like, I kind of live out of my car as a mom, and the worst is when I clean my car and then I don't have my extra sweaters, I don't have my extra shoes, I don't have everything I need. I hate that. I like to have the stuff that I need easy access. So yeah, a lot of times when you get everything put away, then you can't find what you need. Um, Spanking is not beating, Francine. Exactly. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think that it's one and the same. Not at all. I like your background and I really like the floral. Okay, yeah, I think the only floral I have left is this yellow, which I do like, and then this over here, but you can hardly see any of it. Mostly you just see the leaves. I think that's all I've got that's floral. The grape things are cool. You can't really tell what they are a lot of the time. They're lights, but if I light them up, they're way too bright. And then there's like a real plant back there, but that's not floral. You got to have a plant. That's like the law. When you're doing a Zoom meeting, you have to have a plant or anything on YouTube, right? The law is the law, man. Love your neck piece, Miss Jazz. I sort of made it, sort of, kinda. It's kind of Egyptian. Thank you. I love it. And yeah, same with the earrings. I made them too. My hat, I'm just so creative. No, it's fun. I know what I like, so I don't often find things that I like. When I do find things that I like, I have a really hard time not buying them because if it like really inspires me and I just love it. I did that yesterday. I spent $30 on this big metal tray that I have absolutely no use for, but so pretty. And it's like the most perfect shade of like a sage spring green and kind of like a wrought iron kind of French look and this big thing, but I went ahead and blew the $30 on it and I made it into a table. But it's more like a wall decor kind of thing. Anyway, when I find something I like that just really sings to my heart, I feel like it's important to surround yourself with things that inspire you. It just makes life better, in my opinion. So yeah, back to the wrapping up part. Francis says, yes, I do remember the 10. Totally confused. I'm a few minutes behind here. Just a couple of minutes behind. I don't know what that means. Your background matches your personality perfectly, feels homey. I think you are onto something there, Dana. I would say it matches. Like these are tiny little birdhouses. Can you see that? You probably can't. They're probably a little bit blurry. That's 5 tiny birdhouses in this cool little lantern. That's one of my favorite things because I love birdhouses. And I do have my bunnies still, but you know, there's that gets a little cluttery. And you know how clumsy those damn bunnies are too. Zombie traps, LOL. Not sure what that is. Um, let's see what else we got. Getting ready for a funeral service, curling my hair while listening. Prayers for all. I'm so sorry, harsh Shelly. That's awful. I prayers for your friend or family and their loved ones. It would be assigned to me no matter what brain. Exactly, John Courtney. That's what I'm saying. And and it sounded like it got really downplayed by Corporal Brett Payne saying, "Oh, it's probably animal." First of all, I would hope that it's probably animal. I would hope that it's absolutely animal. If you had a human brain out there on a dumpster, but the fact that he said probably is what is insane to me. So he's saying there's a possibility that it's not animal in his documentation because it was documented. That's how it was found out about. It was Jay is for Justice who got that documentation of that call on December 15th. No, November 15th. So they saw it on the night of the quadruple homicide and didn't call it in until the 15th because I mean, would you call it in? Like what you just would be so perplexed. Like stymied. Like, what do you do? It's like, what do you do when 10,000 crows all swoop down on the house? Call Ghostbusters or call the police? I mean, weird, weird, weird stuff. Date of brain, date of buddy. So the date of the brain was November 13th, the night of the 12th, the morning of the 13th. The date of buddy, I think, was 3 weeks prior. Does anybody know for sure? I'm pretty sure it was 3 weeks prior. It might have been more than that. So yeah, if anybody knows, and then we will wrap up. Like I said, I'll speed read, get caught up, and then sign off. Was there something like a brain on the house on August 21st causing the crow phone call? Dana, good question. I think truckee discipline is saving money to pay your way out of jams. I think that the truckee way is the FE way. Squirrels on fire, I do too, but I hoard stuff, especially tlot. I don't know what tlot is. That probably is. Son of an 8-year-old, my son of 8 years old learned programming in BASIC on my Tandy. Very cool. That's amazing. That's wild. Miss Amir Zaza clothes. Okay, got it. Miss Amir Zaza says, squirrels on fire. I do too, but I hoard stuff, especially clothes. I need to go through my clothes and purge. Like I've been, I tell you guys, I purge all the time because with 4 kids, you're constantly having to purge their clothes, purge your own clothes, purge stuff in the house. I'm constantly getting rid of clutter. And yeah, it feels good to lighten your load and simplify, streamline. I thought the brain was the same weekend as the unaliving at 11:22, Dana, and Buddy was 2 weeks before. Yeah, I think somewhere right around there. Could it be a constant terrorizing and taunting going on in Moscow? Oh, that would keep somebody quiet. Wow, Dana. I want to highlight both of these great last comments of Kale and Dana. I like your necklace. Thank you. Brain equals threat. Is that like a direct metaphor that I'm not familiar with? Oh, squirrels on fire says brain on a dumpster equals zombie trap. You are correct. Seriously. Wow. Yeah, because zombies eat brains. And yeah, people are so obsessed with this whole zombie thing. Wow. So squirrels on fire, are you like joking, but there's truth to every joke? Because to me, that seems like it is very potentially accurate. Are there any cops who pull their weight? Of course there are, Pam. Yeah, let me get back to my shtick of I do not like to criticize law enforcement. I like to criticize law enforcement less than I like to criticize other content creators, honestly. Law enforcement, when they're doing their job honestly, deserves all of the respect in the universe. I mean, it's a tough job. And I thank them for doing it. And there are honest cops, but there are so many who've been abusing their power for so long. Meant to tag Pam K on those dates. I figured that, Kale. So hard to stay organized. All right, you guys, and I'm going to try to stay organized and log off. It is 11:59, so high noon. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm a little bit behind because I need to do my Cliff Notes from yesterday. So hopefully I'll get that up later today and then Cliff Notes from this up after that. And then keep on keeping on. Hopefully the computer stuff is calming down. It's definitely calmed down since yesterday, but hopefully it'll calm down even more. I get my wizards on it. So thank you so much, you guys. Take really good care of yourself. Make sure you exercise and rest and get your good nutrition. Breathe, eat, pray, love, be kind, be respectful, demand kindness and respect, and just put one foot in front of the other, or better yet, just like, be a couch potato. You deserve it, right? Take the rest of the day off. No, I'm kidding. It's noon. Come on, people, don't be slackers. No, it is so important to feel productive. So, it's also really important to not define yourself by being productive. Define yourself by your, not to sound too corny, but the love in your heart and the friends and the family around you. I thought LEOs dealt with facts, not probability. Funny thing to waffle about, but not investigate. You'd make a good detective on the crime of the century. Um, so confused, Kale. Um, let's see. And thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you, mods. And I am trying to add a moderator, and it just doesn't want to do it. So we'll get that figured out. Anyway, have a great afternoon. Thank you kindly, and sending you much love and much light. Thanks so much for your patience. Take care.